Never did I think I would be so hyped for a Donkey Kong game. Then whenever this game was revealed. This was something I never thought I wanted in a Nintendo game. Just destroying everything in our way. And things not in our way. Welcome to MathEizen Studio, the channel where I seriously talk about games. In today's review we talk about how Donkey Kong Bananza is almost the perfect platformer. Today I will take a look at the narratives, gameplay, graphics and collectibles. A whole lot of stuff, eh? If you have not beaten the game, this video will contain spoilers. Good. First we will talk about the narratives. I think that the story plus the interactions with Pauline and DK are really incredibly done. I like it. I don't expect too much, of course, from a story from a platformer from Nintendo, but it's better than Mario. It's definitely much more in depth than I would have thought. I really love the small interactions with DK and Pauline in like every single cutscene, but also in the little houses that you have, like the places where you can just rest and replenish your hearts. That's where you can always listen to Pauline yapping about different things, and it's always amazing. I always did it just for that. I didn't care about the hearts. I always did it just for that. Honestly, I also think that at the end of the game, if you know, you know, King K. Rool punches the big boy Void out of the way, and I think out of there it's just a lot of nostalgia. Like, I only played Donkey Kong Country this year, and it still felt nostalgic to just, hear their music, hear the cries of the enemies. I loved it. And it's not much of a nostalgia thing, but it's a really neat little detail that they kept in and didn't have to keep it. Aside from that, I also love the fact that the characters, like the villains, aren't necessarily evil. Like Poppy, she's not evil, she's just doing her job, and once it's, going to shit, she kinda just quits. I like that. I love that. It feels so natural. It's so nice. I love it. And honestly, I think even though DK doesn't have a voice, which, that's fine and all, but he has so many good facial expressions that he doesn't need a voice. He doesn't need to talk. It's amazing. And honestly, I also think that narration wise, it's not just one line to the finish like in Mario trying to save his speech. That's one line. In Donkey Kong Bananza it feels like a bit wobbly at times, and I love that aspect of that. I think more games should put a bit more wobbling in their narrative, a bit more, oh, things are going really bad right now, oh, what is this, like something bad's happening. I think more platformer games should try to do that, but maybe I should play more platformer games. Anyway, I would give this game, on the narrative, a 10 out of 10. Now it's time to take a look at the gameplay. It's actually just more than destroying stuff. There are a lot of possibilities to skip through the levels, and it's honestly amazing because you would think it's all about destruction, but no, it's not. There are a lot of movement options. I really love the movement in this game. It's really fun, and when I was recording my little footage for this video, I was having a lot of fun. So it's definitely one of those games that you can pick up for 30 minutes and be like, oh, I'm gonna just destroy stuff and I'm gonna be satisfied. It's just a free destruction chamber. It's amazing. Aside from that, I also think that there are a lot of interesting boss fights in this game that use the destruction really well. The main aspect of this game, gameplay wise, is destroying stuff. So the bosses being about destroying stuff, but you need to think as well. I love that. That's just not mindless destroying, because otherwise it would be too easy. Even though this game is definitely easy, it's just really fun. I also think that the platform challenges with the different Bananzas you have are well thought out and are, well, really fun to go through. But a little bit aside for that, I also think there are not enough of them. I thought that when I was done with even the post game, I thought, wow, I could have used a bit more flair with these Bananzas. I could have used a bit more challenges with this. Like I said, the gameplay is pretty addictive for the good 30 minutes, because it's a really fun thing, and if you're frustrated and stuff, play this game, man. Just play this game. But honestly, it can get pretty stale after a while. It's not a For me, at least. I think this is one of the few things that I'm very subjective about, is this destroying stuff. It can be different for every single person, right? It can be some people really love that, and some people will be spending 3 hours long just destroying one single area, and that's okay. That's what makes this game really fun, because different people want to do different things. I also think that the gameplay loop can be pretty repetitive, and that's also just me being subjective, because, you know, for some people that's not repetitive at all. Some people love the repetition. I think it's just a bit too much. I think there could be a bit more new mechanics in every single area. There are a few more mechanics here and there. I'm not saying that there are none. They do a good job with like the different ground types. I think they do an amazing job of that. But I wish, to get us more engaged, I wish there was just a little bit more. So that is why I will give the gameplay aspect of this game a 7 out of 10. Graphics wise, it's not the most gorgeous game, but it has some beautiful areas and honestly inviting areas. Like, for example, the beach. It makes me want to go on vacation there. I'm honestly also, when it comes to graphics, also looking at how things are differentiated, like what you can punch or what you can't punch, and that's really well done here. Like, you can see the glassiness on the objects that you can't climb on, because, you know, you will slip off. And I think every single material is unique in this game, and you can see just by looking at the material if it's gonna be a hard material to break or if it's just gonna be a soft material. That's incredibly done. They did a lot of research, they put a lot of thought into this, and I think they couldn't have done it any better. What else can I say? There are some things I can say. I think that some of the areas just could have used a bit more flair, could have used just a bit less dullness, because right now sometimes with areas it's a hit or a miss, because honestly my favorite area is the beach one, and not every single area looks as inviting and fun to play through, so that's why I give this aspect an 8 out of 10. And now we're at collectibles. Why am I talking about collectibles? Well, I think it's really important in this game because this game has a lot of collectibles. It has the Bananza gems, and it has the fossils, and there are a lot of them. And then there are discs and music discs and whatnot. There are a lot of things in this game to collect. And honestly, when I think about it, I'm like, damn, some of these must be challenging. And that was not the case at all. Alright, so let me say this. I think some of these collectibles were really nice to find. Some of these collectibles were really nice and fun and engaging to get. Some others I was like, okay, this is just like look around and find out. I personally don't think that's a great way to just give the player collectibles. I think that, sure, there can be some of those, but honestly some of it felt like it was the majority of the time that I just found a Bananza gem in the wild. And I don't want to do that. I think what is amazing though is that some of them actually used puzzles to get to them. You actually had to find around, you actually had to find your way around, and I like those. I really like those. Those are amazingly done and really well spread out. I think some Bananza gems could have been hidden behind a more challenging aspect of the game, and I've only stumbled upon one challenging Bananza gem, and that's it. Now, I 100%ed the game and it really felt like a chore at times, and I'm not gonna lie, I would never probably 100% this game ever again. It was just sometimes not fun. What I did like about this game is that you can get maps, and with those maps you can find your Bananza gems, but you know, that's also a chore. So, I'm not entirely certain how I feel about this. I think for the majority of the collectibles I'm like, yes, this is fun, this is great, I like this. And the other part is like, again this again, you know, it's more of like my experience with it. But I'm still willing to give this aspect a 7 out of 10, even though I didn't enjoy it as much. So that adds up to the game being a whopping 32 out of 40. The game is in my opinion a very solid game that everyone should give a chance. I also think that it's worth its price, as I have definitely gotten my money's worth out of the game. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And tell me what you thought about the game in the comments down below. Anyway, see ya.